Hey guys, Functional Body Unit here. Today's video is about how to incorporate mobility training in your heavy leg trainings. Enjoy!
The very first thing in our warm-up are CARs. We do hip CARs, knee CARs, and ankle CARs. We're warming up and moving the entire range of motion that we own and preparing the joint for what's to come. We suggest 3 circles in each direction for each leg. For more information on CARs, we put a link with a blog post on them in the description below. We then move on to more dynamic activation movements like this lunge variation and the black roll into the pancake, activating the blood flow and heart. They also warm up the hip flexors and hamstrings, also hip extensors. Because we do different squat variations, we also make sure to warm up the ankles. We're starting with end range rotations, first in a combat base position and moving on to the deep squat position. Dorsiflexion is super important in a clean and safe squat, so we better train and activate it. Before going into the squat warm-up reps, we work on explosiveness as well. We're performing 2 sets with 6 to 8 reps on each leg for each variation. So we start with hip extension, move into abduction, and then finally into hip flexion. This warm-up takes about 10 to 15 minutes and prepares the body for all the hard work it is about to accomplish.
After the warm-up, we usually perform 4 to 6 warm-up sets by adding 10 to 15 kilos per set. I try to focus on the same stuff as if I would squat heavy weights straight away. There are a few key factors for a solid squatting technique. First, the elbows determine if your upper body is as upright as possible. Your elbows should be placed right beside your body. Focus on going full range of motion. If you can't go full range of motion in the squat, then I advise you to focus more on mobility training and not performing the squat at all. For breathing, usually we take a deep breath on top of the movement and packing the air in our abdominal area. We exhale if we finished our rep at the top, so we can provide our body with as much tension as possible.
Hip thrusts are one of the exercises most girls have in their leg workouts and most guys don't. Well, I gotta say, this exercise is great to build the posterior chain when performed right. It's also a good exercise to get volume into your training and improve fast. So to set up with your upper back or your shoulders on a bench. The bench should be high enough to get a 90-degree angle in the knee when you've reached the top or highest point of the thrust. Also keep a posterior pelvic tilt to make sure you don't work with your lower back, and also to make sure you don't hurt your lower back when you're performing reps and sets with a lot of weight.
The Bulgarian split squats are one of the best single leg exercises out there if performed correctly. Try to focus on staying as upright as possible. The whole work should only come from your front leg. Often, people tend to cheat with the rear leg a lot by pressing the foot into the bench. Give yourself a break of 30 seconds before you switch sides. Remember always, quality over quantity.
A single leg press is a really good exercise for the end of a session because it doesn't require as much body control as a freestanding exercise like the Bulgarian split squat. Focusing on one leg really makes you focus on your muscular disbalances. The higher your foot is placed, the more you will feel it in your posterior chain, hamstring and glutes. The lower your foot is placed, the more you will feel it in your quad.
Training calves with a leg press is a solid option to build up strength and mass. Focus on using your full range of motion and the squeeze at the top of each rep. Our leg finisher this time included the glute ham raise, one of my favorite exercises for the whole rear chain. Focus here on pulling yourself back only by pressing your heels into the board. We also did some crazy squat jumps and some crazy sled action as the ultimate quad killer.
Our finisher included weighted slide sprints, or rather slide walks, so choose a weight that is challenging from the beginning, keep your upper body down and arms straight. Really feel the burn in your legs and especially quads. And when you feel like you're done and can't go one more step, go for another round. You will feel great afterwards, promise. And also keep in mind, this is the last set you will do in this leg workout.
When it comes to leg training, people often neglect training the smaller muscle groups or the rotational function of your hip. Please start to take care of your hip capsule and incorporate mobility training. These are some passive range liftoffs in the hip extension for internal rotation. Training the internal rotation of your hip not only has beneficial aspects to your joint health, but also internal rotation is very important when it comes to deep squats.
So to really finish our session off, we're giving our joints some love and reward them for the great work they did in the last 1.5 to 2 hours. The abduction liftoffs with 2.5 kilos are no joke. Keep the hip and knee in one line, knee has a 90-degree angle. Our front leg is facing forward with a slight bend in the knee. Grab the bar in front of you and hold it tight, arms straight and upper body always facing forward. Do 2 sets with 5 to 10 second holds. The last exercise might seem like another girly exercise to work the booty gains or to work on the booty gains, but I can assure you it's not. Loaded frog is one of my favorite weighted mobility exercises to work on abduction and glute activation and our absolute end ranges. This exercise helps with opening up the hips, especially after a heavy leg workout. So thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on mobility, calisthenics and strength tutorials. If you want more information on mobility and calisthenics, visit our website, link is in the description below. See you next week.